in
Text
a
for
couple
Voice.
of the recent videos that I did, I went over some of the state budget, and one of the things that you see in the state budget in New York City is that a lot of that
Because that's
budget
the thing.
comes
It was
from,
literally
from property
because
tax. A really good portion of New York
that's what
State's budget
Text for
comes
Voice
from
was.
property
It was
tax.
just
You can see
general
it here
too.
on the comptroller's
it really is.
website. I'll put a link to this executive summary down below. General property
And then
tax
there's
is a big
the water
part of
lady with the
financial
pee-pee.
plan for the future. And one of the things that I've gone over a lot on this channel is
What do you
the real
mean,
estate
water
cost
lady with the
is
pee-pee?
being astronomical. I went over it when I was looking for
The
a new
Steppy
store.
slime?
And every now and then
Yeah,
I
the
was doing
Steppy
videos
slime.
walking down the block and showing you all the places
Here, I'll
that
put
are
in this
empty, all the
message for
stores
now.
that
There
are
you
empty.
go.
And, you know, one of the things that I think politicians are going to start
Let's
learning
go,
is
Steppy
really
slime.
to turn business on and off like a light switch. A business is
That'd be a
forgot.
weird foot job.
are not light switches. You know, an economy is not a light switch. You can't just do this.
I forgot how many waifus there are in this.
It doesn't work.
Oh, hey.
You know, there was this one study that I was reading a while ago, and it was talking about.
Hey,
how
John, do you know what's
in
great
areas
about the
where
Steppy
they had
slime?
got lifted COVID restrictions
What?
a little bit sooner,
That's roughly the
that
time I
economic
met Zan.
activity did not return
Oh.
as quickly as people anticipated from
Because the
areas that
message
had
right under
harsher restrictions.
the
One of
Steppy
things that,
slime.
you know, I've
Nicotine
always read this
donut,
stuff,
full thrust,
no
full
shit,
party. I
man.
want to make money.
Like, you know, you stab somebody in the
That
leg.
is sad, isn't
you
it?
stab two people in the leg.
Yes.
And this guy, you take the knife out 20 minutes before that guy. They're like, neither of them are likely going to be running a race because you stabbed them in
I'm
the
pretty
leg.
sure I was in
It's very
BC
difficult
just
to turn
talking
these
to you
things
and was
back
like,
on. Getting
I
people
think
to
I
show
found
up,
one of the most
the
degenerate
finances
cat
of it,
girls.
the you know the customer base, just the procedures that you had. You adapt to your new environment, and you don't just immediately literally go back to exactly how things were before. It's not that simple. And I think that members of both city and state government that are concerned that maybe all of these empty places are not
And
going
behold,
to be
I
able
was
to
right.
pay the astronomical property tax that makes a city or a state like New York
The most
able
degenerate
to be
cat
viable
girl
with the budget that it has, are going to come to a stark realization that not everybody is going to come back, and they're not going to come back simply because you tell them, for both reasons. A, I've moved on. I've created a life for myself or a way to work that does not screw me simply because the economy gets turned on and off like a light switch. Or B, you may actually have people that are in perpetual concerned fear for the future. Because again, like really, think about this. If the benchmark was, quote, if it saves you only one life, I mean, again, you had Delta, you had Omicron. Like, are you really if you are obeying every single mandate, every single suggestion, every single guideline, are you really willing to tell everybody to come back to the office if your business is the type of business that is going to immediately shut down if a new variant comes out? If the PP bus variant comes out in April, okay, so you got everybody working from home.
Oh, the Steppy
You did
slime
all the
popped
work
up again.
necessary to make that work, and everything's
Nice.
good. And now you're going to do all the work to, okay, never mind,
I'm
change
just
it to
looking
dime,
for all
everybody
the
come back.
waifus now.
Are you willing in April or May or June, when they say, okay, never mind, here are all the different guidelines and restrictions and so on and so forth, are you, like, are you going to tell them all to go back home? Because, I mean, I think there may be people that went through the, Delta, then Omicron, that are going to say, you know what, everybody can work from home, fuck it. And another thing that I think is going to be difficult here is getting people to come back due to the rhetoric that was used 2 years ago. The reason that I was against a lot of the rhetoric being used, it wasn't because I had a problem wearing a mask in the beginning of the pandemic. It wasn't because I had a problem with getting a vaccine. It was the, quote, if it saves only one life rhetoric, because we don't apply that to anything else. And it's going to make it very
Oh,
difficult.
and there's
to
where
get
you were
people
explaining
to
what a donut
consider
was to me.
Going back to the way things were before. So I remember in June of last year when they were suggesting that if you're fully vaccinated and others are fully vaccinated, then why don't you take your mask off and do that indoors. Now, before we had news of the new Delta variants coming in and absolutely just, game-stopping the case rate, before there was news of that, there were still a lot of people that thought, well, wait a second, what made today different from yesterday? So if yesterday was, if it saves even only one life day, what makes yesterday that much different from today? Because it's one of those things where it's kind of like, it's a curve. But what makes this day on the curve that much different? I'm not changing. I'm doing what I was before. And that's what I've noticed. And then particularly when you had Delta come out, right after they said you can take off your mask indoors if you're fully vaccinated, that kind of, I imagine, emboldened people that said, no, I don't want to go back to normal yet, to not go back to normal. And then when, that was done with, people were kind of on edge. And then you had Omicron, which was like, spiked up a lot. And now I imagine that there are people that are like, I don't want to go back to my office. What if there's a next one after Omicron? I mean, because if there was, you had COVID of winter of 2020. Then it's like, okay, we think we're done. Oh, never mind, there's another variant. Okay, we think we're done. Oh, never mind, there's another variant. There's going to be a lot of people, I think, that are concerned about another variant. And they are maybe still in that mindset of, quote,